At this point, I think I've tested nearly 30 earplugs, both at live shows and in our lab. And I think it's time we break it down and talk about the best concert earplugs and listen to some sound files. What do you think? Should we do it? So last time we measured 9 earplugs, which felt monolithic at the time, but now we've tested nearly 30. You might ask why? Well, because we really need to stop abusing our ears. A set of $20 earplugs, maybe like these ER20XS, can be the difference between healthy hearing and permanent hearing damage. And with the array of earplugs available nowadays, there's really no excuse to skip protection. But I'm curious, what's the biggest reason you don't wear earplugs, or at least haven't in the past? Is it comfort? Do you forget them? Now, for me, it was feeling like they killed the vibe, and that was long before I knew about concert earplugs. Also, if I'm being honest, there was that element of machismo where I figured there would be some judgment for protecting my ears in the metal world. But I really hope that we've moved past that really bad, antiquated mentality and that's no longer a thing. However, let me know in the comments. I'd be really curious to hear what reasons you may have for not wearing hearing protection. But with so many options out there, and because everyone's needs are different, let's break this best of review down into 5 categories. So we'll talk about best sound quality, or the earplugs that offer the most uniform sound reduction from a single filter. We'll then talk about the best variable filter earplugs, and these are ones that allow you to adjust the amount of attenuation, either with removable filters or with a mechanical switch on them. We'll also talk about which earplugs offer more sound reduction, which might be good if you have sensitive ears. We'll talk about some excellent budget options, and then at the very end, we'll talk about my top pick. But before we jump into all of that, here's a quick refresher that musicians' earplugs are designed to reduce sound evenly across the bass, mids, and treble. So music still sounds natural, just safer. And some of you have honestly commented in the past on other videos saying, flat isn't good because that's not how we hear. And we know that's true thanks to Harvey Fletcher, Wilden Munson, and all the subsequent research since the 30s. But when I say uniform or flat, I'm talking about sound reduction, not hearing sensitivity. The goal of most concert earplugs or music earplugs is to preserve the mix exactly as the musicians and audio engineers intended. They're the creative ones that are supposed to make it sound good based on our perception of sound. The earplugs, on the other hand, just turn that volume down so we can hear with better safety and, believe it or not, clarity. They do this with an acoustic filter and sound channel. Together, both aim to balance sound reduction and make up for lost ear canal resonance. If you would like a deeper dive into that topic, you can check out my best of earplug review from 2023. Now, with that said, not all concert or music earplugs are created equal, and that's honestly why we're here talking about these earplugs. Everything we'll mention today is based on both my hands-on use and objective lab testing at our partner lab, HearAdvisor. That's also where the sound files come from that we'll listen to in just a moment. So this list is based on my real-world impressions, but it's also backed by hard data. So let's dive in. So to start, let's talk about the best sound quality in a single filter earplug. If you want music to sound as close as possible to the way it was mixed or sounds in the environment, these earplugs may be right for you. First up is Eargasm High Fidelity. Now, they offer great overall clarity, though I sometimes struggle with getting a consistent fit. So, ironically and unfortunately, while they are on this list, I am not able to wear them. Now, also at the top of this category are Etymotic Research ER20XS. Now, they do offer slightly more treble or high frequency reduction than, say, Eargasm, but they tend to sit deeper in your ears, which helps reduce occlusion. This combination of respectable sound quality and reduced voice boominess has made them an undeniable industry standard. Now, the last earplug we'll mention in this category is Phonak Serenity Choice Music, and these are plugs I've only recently been introduced to. However, I wish I would have known about them much sooner as they sound great. However, they are a little pricier than the average concert earplug, which may or may not be a consideration for you. Now, to show you what flat or uniform sound reduction looks like in a good music earplug, here are the measurements for eargasm from our lab. A flatter line means more even reduction across all frequencies, which usually sounds more transparent and musical. You can see how flat eargasm high fidelity is compared to a standard foam earplug. Next up, let's talk about variable filter earplugs. Now, these earplugs give you different filters or sound reduction options, and they're a great option if you move between quiet and loud environments, or in general, if you want more options. That is, without having to swap plugs mid show. First up is Switch 2. Now, these are hands down the easiest no fuss option, and you can change between loop and gauge, experience, and quiet with a simple rotation. And those filters are designed for conversation, music, and maximum sound reduction, respectively. Now, if you're curious about loop, I have another video that discusses all of their plugs in greater detail with more sound comparisons. And I also pinpoint a few key misconceptions about loop, so it may be worth a watch. Minuendo lossless earplugs are also at the top of this category, and these offer a sleek adjustable slider, multiple ear tips, and a unique earbud look. It can take a little playing to get both sliders exactly the same, which will otherwise result in sound quality differences between your ears, which isn't great. The sound reduction varies considerably based on the slider, with, at least based on my experiences, the middle position offering the best sound quality. Last but not least in this category are Sennheiser Sound Protect Plus. These earplugs are one example that cross over and also really belong in the previous best sound quality category. However, one thing to consider is that changing the filters is more of a hassle as you have to completely remove them, and let's be honest, at least for me, that's not happening in the middle of a show. So these are probably better viewed as a single filter earplug with excellent customization options. So this next category is for you if you are more sound sensitive, are exposed to louder sounds, or if you just want maximum sound protection. To quote Jason Statham, you can't beat a classic. So in this category, we're starting with 3M Classic. To address the elephant in the room, these aren't designed for concerts. They're intended for industry, but if worn properly, they can block a considerable amount of sound. But for most people, even those with smaller ears, you can get a great fit by rolling them slowly, pulling your ears back and up, and inserting until they're nearly flush with the opening of your ears. Earpiece Music Pro are also at the top of this category. They are extremely comfortable thanks to their ergonomic shape. Multiple filter options make these versatile and reliable, although you do have to decide what filter you want at the time of purchase. Last up in this category are Alpine Music Safe Pro. I find these earplugs very comfortable, and they also come with multiple filters, making them another crossover plug. You change the filters by manually swapping a small plastic sleeve at the end of the silicone earplug. This makes them similar to Sennheiser Sound Protect Plus. However, the sound quality isn't as good, so I'd recommend these earplugs, like most in this category, if your priorities are comfort and sound reduction. Alpine Music Safe Pro also come with other useful add-ons, which is nice. It's also worth noting that other types of earplugs, such as earmuffs, custom hearing protection, or active earbuds like Apple AirPods Pro 2, can offer more sound reduction than the universal fit passive earplugs we just discussed. And if you'd like more information on that, or in general, if you're curious, feel free to leave me a comment below and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. Let's move on to the best budget options. If you're new to earplugs, spending $60 might seem extreme. So here are some great performers that'll protect both your ears and your wallet. First up are Westone True Music. These earplugs honestly sound great, so they could easily live in that first best sound quality category. You can pick them up for around $28.95, which may still seem pricey, but in the greater scheme of life, it's worth it. I also review hearing aids and often want to make the admittedly hyperbolized comparison. Would you rather spend $30 on earplugs or $3,000 on hearing aids down the road? Next up are Heroes High Fidelity. They are actually fantastic, and I don't know why they aren't more popular. They're sold for around $10, and the sound reduction or sound quality is nearly identical to ER20XS. Lastly, I have to again mention foam earplugs like Heroes Softstar Next Gen. I often say the best earplugs are the ones you are willing to wear, and plenty of venues hand these out or similar ones for free or sell them for pocket change. They offer excellent value, low occlusion, and great protection, again, if worn properly. Last up, overall, let's talk about my top pick. This is the one that I personally take to most concerts, given their balance of sound quality, protection, and comfort. And that is Loop Experience 2 Plus, or Switch 2. As we've already talked about Switch 2, let's focus on Experience 2. These earplugs offer good enough sound quality with a great fit, and I honestly struggle to get a good fit with many of the earplugs mentioned previously. And that's due to the shape of my ears, not a fault of the earplugs. And I'm honestly okay compromising sound quality, at least a little bit, for comfort and reliable sound protection. And everything I've said does not mean that Loop are the best for everyone. They are just the earplugs I reach for most often. To be fair, one major downside to Loop earplugs, and this is all of the Loop earplugs I've tried, is their shallow fit, and that's due to their single flange dome. This likely helps it fit my ears comfortably, but it also creates more occlusion. And occlusion is that annoying boominess your voice takes on when wearing earplugs. Now, also not to contradict myself, but some vocalists and instrumentalists actually like the occlusion because it helps them monitor themselves on stage. All right, now that we've gone through those 5 categories, let's do a quick listening comparison across those 3 initial earplugs in the best sound quality category. Don't worry if you're more interested in another plug. We offer sound files across multiple genres for every earplug at hearingtracker.com as well as hearadvisor.com. Also, as YouTube compression isn't always kinda audio, it may be worth listening to the full resolution samples on our website. But for now, we'll switch between Eargasm High Fidelity, Etymotic Research ER20XS, and Phonak Serenity Choice Music. Be sure to wear your best headphones and keep your volume consistent between these audio samples. Let's do that one more time with the levels matched, and we'll do this so that you can focus on the sound quality differences without that big drop in volume. Now, everyone's sound quality preferences are different, so I would love to know which of those 3 plugs sounded best to you. I've pinned my preference at the top of the comments below. So that's it, my breakdown of the best concert earplugs, again, based on my real world use as well as objective lab testing. I go much deeper in the full review on hearingtracker.com, where I break things down across all 10 of our hands on categories. For example, I think one of the biggest factors in actually wearing earplugs is having them with you at all times. A good carrying case clipped to your purse or keys makes that easy. That's why we even rate features, which includes case quality. Now, my personal preference is a rugged metal case that lasts for years and shrugs off even the most extreme abuse. Case in point, I don't use Eargasm earplugs as they just don't fit me well, but their metal case has survived years of abuse with nothing more than cosmetic damage. Now, if you're curious about other types of earplugs, say sleep earplugs, conversation plugs, or even active hearing protection, let me know down below because maybe I can cover it in a future video. But that's it, and thanks for watching.